Hello and welcome to the new No Exit Experience. The train can, or the bus can always leave late, but it can never leave early. But we're here. So where everyone gets a chance to talk and no one is excluded, with the exception of those who trample on the speech of others. It is a show where all topics are welcome and no one is censored for giving their honest views on those topics. If you can handle that, then hop on the bus. You're in for a wild ride. My name is Jason, and I'm the bus driver. My passengers today are Vanessa, Richard, Robbie, and on the tiller is Tom Windsor Mountbatten. And we don't have anybody in the Zoom room, but if you were given the code, zoom on in. We'll hit it like a truck. Let's get started. I'm going to start out with my topic is Strange New Worlds, because I'm going to give a plug for Paramount Plus. I'm not getting sponsored by them. They're not saying anything. But the interesting thing about the story is we know how it ends with Captain Pike, because in the original pilot of Star Trek that they didn't use, which had all different people except for Spock, but then when they repositioned it, called it the Menagerie, Captain Pike was burnt to a crisp in some accident, so he knows he's going to get burned. So we know how his story ends. And there's even in one of the earlier seasons, they showed how he, using a Borth time crystal, he went to where that was and he saved the four the cadets that got burned or got killed while he got burned, and it caused the ripple effect to go on of a Federation Romulan war. And so a future version of himself came back and said, you can't do this. You have to, let nature take its course. Well, anyways, this season, there's been 3 episodes so far, and the first episode was just incredible. The second one was pure horror. I mean, it was a great horror episode. And the third one came out on Thursday. It was Cheech and Chong, or The Hangover, done better. Better than The Hangover, and there's no gross out humor. So I can't say enough for it. It's entertaining TV, and it's worth a watch. It's worth seeing. And all the seasons are worth seeing, but they're getting better and better, because they even had last season or 2 seasons ago a musical episode, and you could even buy a soundtrack album of the songs that were sung. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I just thought it was really. I was totally, the first episode just was amazing how it went together. You know, that, and it's something that you can't explain it without ruining the whole episode. But it was just one of those things. So
Sal Monaco would love that.
But, I like things for the sake of it. I don't have to do an academic treatise, like break it down and say about themes and this and that. Because, like you ever read a book and then you read it again for school and or for class, and it ruins it because it takes all the...
Oh, yeah, like art discussion, when people talk about artworks and they get too deep into things that probably weren't even in the artist's mind to begin with.
And because that's what my roommate, being an artist, she said, you look at the ones that speak to you. And if it speaks to you, you can't tell you like it, but you don't know why. You can't enumerate it because it's so such in the details, and you're right. When if somebody cuts it into this or that or what,
they used to do that all the time at art school, going to like meanings that couldn't even possibly have been there.
What is the motto of MGM? Ars gratia artis, art for art's sake.
Right.
Sometimes, though, you can hear an interpretation of a work of art, and you can say, I never looked at it that way. I'm going to go look at it again. So, for example, there was a movie made in 1940 called The Seahawk.
Okay.
And I researched it because at the same time I was listening to a lecture about Sir Francis Drake. Do you know about Sir Francis Drake and the treasure ship?
Not specifically.
At one point, the Spanish were the only ones who could circumnavigate the globe. So if they wanted treasure coming from North America, they loaded it all up onto a ship, and then they used their path that they only they knew the path to get back to Spain. So they figured, we don't need any weapons. We don't need anything because where we're going, nobody can follow us, right? Sir Francis Drake was the kind of person who, what would happen if I turned here? Well, what if I went there? What if I went there? He found the path. And what did he find? A Spanish ship. So he pulled up alongside the ship and he boarded it and he said, this is a coincidence. Like, what exactly is going on here? They said, you must leave the ship immediately. It is under the wing, you know, it's protected by the King of Spain. He said, not till I find out what's on it. He found the equivalent of 2 tons of gold. So he said, I'm going to put you guys in a boat. I'm going to let you guys go back to the shore. I'm taking this ship. So he took the ship back to Queen Elizabeth. This is history. And Queen Elizabeth, you have to say why you want to see the Queen. So he tells the Queen's aide, and here's what the message comes back. The Queen will not officially see you. She will just see you briefly to say to you, welcome back to England. But other than that, nothing will be discussed. So as soon as he got together with the Queen and the door closed, she said, tell me about this ship. And he said, 2 tons of gold, so much in gems, et cetera, et cetera. And Your Majesty, I give it all to you. And she said, I couldn't possibly accept that. She said it's 100 times more than my salary for being queen in a year. She said, so I couldn't take it all. And he goes, what do you mean by that? And she said, I'm going to give 1/10 of it to you and your crew as a thank you. And and so he was thrilled. I mean, he already had way more money with 1/10 of it than he would ever make in his lifetime. Then, when he was leaving, she said, remember, this meeting never happened. And if you were to come across another Spanish ship, I would not know about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're just a sailor. Okay?
They all look the same, I think.
Well, if he was
So he understood what she meant, okay? And so I heard Hollywood made a version of this called The Seahawk. And then came the interpretation. Oh, yes, there was a movie by that name. And it's thinly veiled on what took place between Sir Francis Drake and the Queen of England. And Hollywood said, because it was 1940, they said, the government has been asking us for propaganda. So we're going to change the story so that the King of Spain is the equivalent of Adolf Hitler, who wants to conquer the world at any cost. So when you're stealing from, it's like you're combating Hitler. I want to see that movie now, now that I have the new interpretation.
I think it's like, why didn't he just go buy his own island with all that money and just be a sovereign nation unto himself and keep it all? You probably could have done that back then because there wasn't as much technology. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That with everything at your fingertips now, and everybody taking pictures of everything.
Now it's all tracked. Okay.
Goodness, 400 or 500 years ago. I mean, Queen Elizabeth I probably had congenital syphilis, so she had a collapsed nose and she had the sniffles all the time, and she wasn't an attractive woman. But you wouldn't know that. Just like people didn't know that JFK was in a brace all the time, or that FDR couldn't walk, or that Grover Cleveland supposedly went on a boat trip just out somewhere. Actually, he was getting a nasopharyngeal cancer cut off, and he had they put a thing on his face, a fake thing to fill in the hole, because now that's why our president, I still say he did not get shot. He got hit by debris, because that ear has no scar, and
That's
you know
right.
what? Cartilage does not grow back. And so if you shoot through that, This isn't funny, but it's funny. I was doing EMT clinical 30 years ago, and I was in the ECMC ED, and there was a cab driver who got shot through the nose because somebody had a gun to his head. And he turned his head, and it got shot through here. But what the ENT resident was doing was he puts a speculum up there, and he's like opening it up. The guy's going, ow, ow, ow. But I mean, he didn't give a shit because he wanted to show me the bullet hole in his nose. You know, and you see the white cartilage. Cartilage is just like bone is pearly white. I mean, it's really remarkable. And cartilage is just white like this. You know, it's white like that, and it shines like that. So I just thought it was funny. You know what this? He has this 22 caliber hole in his nose, and the guy is opening up the speculum from here, and the dude is like screaming. But patients are the last thing they think about. In
Well, I wish
education.
my teeth were pearly white, but that's not happening.
Why do you smoke?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what you get.
Well, speaking of Trump,
Okay.
then the gold. Remember, did you see the thing he's doing now where he's gold plating all the statues?
Yeah,
Yeah.
regilding them. They just look tacky.
And he just cut a bunch of benefits for people, says he can't afford them. And then he does that.
Well, you know what was funny was somebody did a video when he said all the gold stuff he put in the Oval Office. They said no Home Depot stuff here, and they outlined it and they compared it to Home
It
Depot.
was.
It was Home
Yep.
Depot, and but everything is political and nothing is. Does anybody have anything else to say about art?
Well, the topic about you got Paramount Plus and there have been 3 episodes. You didn't say the name of the series that you're referring to.
Strange New Worlds. Yes, I did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there have been 3 episodes of Strange New Worlds
This season.
this season,
It's the 4th season.
and it's the 4th season. Okay.
Yeah. That's why the New Life, New Civilizations, to boldly go where no one, because they changed that from no man to no one has gone before.
How would they know that?
Oh.
Well, it originally on Star Trek, that was to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah, so you could easily find that out. You could find out, did anybody ever go there? You could ask the other people on the earth. But to say no one, that would be other beings.
Which they always find.
No, what they did
Right.
was they included the women to say no one where no one has gone before, referring to humans.
Yeah.
Man,
they
yeah,
make
man.
an unintentional inclusion.
No, that was an intentional one when they changed it to where
But
no
he's
one.
right when they say one. I mean, it could be more than just humans.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, don't they discover other
Yeah, they do.
life forms?
But
yeah,
they're-
Klingons, I think.
They're
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
talking
Okay.
they're talking about humans, human expansion, where humans haven't gone, to seek out new life and new
Well,
civilizations.
that's what they meant when they said man.
Yeah, they
Where
meant
no man has
mankind.
gone before. They mean human.
Yeah, human, and that's why they say where no one. So
So
That's
why
all.
didn't they keep it man?
because they wanted to include women, because
Oh, that's why they went from man to one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then it creates the confusion you're bringing up as a side effect.
I don't think so.
Because he just thought it.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. So-
Well, but you're doing something in the abstract.
I
In the
mean,
reality,
isn't a Klingon part of the one?
sure,
well,
yeah.
But the thing is, we're going to discover them. That's the Vulcans. That's actually Jewish.
Live long and prosper.
That's actually Jewish, though. That's why Leonard Nimoy did that.
He
That's
had pointy ears, too.
You made some good records.
See, when I talk about known sequiturs, these are people interrupting me with stuff that is it's parallel, but he just
Sort
had to
of
come
on
up with
topic.
stop interrupting me. Okay.
Comedy.
Does anybody have anything else to say about Strange New Worlds? Alrighty, so we'll X that. And Robbie, should owners of properties get fined?
Yeah, I think they should because
But-
every
no,
time.
no, explain it.
Because I've seen so many eyesores like that Adams Mark Hotel, or there's I forgot what other place, and they buy these places and fix them up, or they're supposed to fix them up, but they sometimes leave it alone in that. Thank you. They leave it alone. Like for a while, it sits there either for maybe a year, 2 years, 10 years, and don't do nothing. And I was thinking about that St. Anne's on Broadway. Why the owner has never done anything to it is beyond me, because it's been either vandalized or lit on fire, arsoned or something, and it's owned, but the owner's doing nothing, and I think they should be fined.
Owned by whom?
Whoever who knows.
Probably some big
Yeah,
corporation.
he doesn't know who owns it.
But
So-
the thing of it is, should they be fined? Then, which I think they should, if
It-
it's going to sit there and rot, and you buy it or something.
Is it still owned by the Catholic Church, or was it even
No,
Catholic,
it's-
or was it Episcopal, or what
No,
was?
somebody bought it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they were saying that somebody bought it, but they
So this is St. Anne's. Where's it located?
on Broadway.
Okay.
In
and-
Polonia, east side.
Yeah, and it's been lit on fire or
Oh,
something.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And I get it, it's preservationists want to keep it up because of historic meaning, but
Could put a Waffle House there. Everyone's always saying we should have a
It's
Waffle
owned,
House here.
to answer your question, it's owned by Buffalo Crescent Holdings, Inc.
Crescent. I wonder if it has anything to do with Islam, like the crescent moon.
I-
They might turn it into a mosque.
It is affiliated with the Downtown Islamic Center,
Ooh, I'm smart.
and there are Bengali community initiatives involved in the deal. They bought it for $250,000.
Everything has a price, huh? Even holy buildings.
Well, it's probably deconsecrated.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it would have to be. I wonder how you deconsecrate it. I wonder what the process for that is. Is there some sort of ceremony or something? Does anybody know?
I don't think there's a specific ceremony, but they take the gold, and if there's a relic, they take the relic out of there.
yeah, I remember the Garden Village Plaza back in I think 07, 08, 09. Now it looks nicer, but it was Benderson that owned it, and you had a empty Ames, an empty Vicks, empty Club. There was an empty Fantastic Sam's, and just a Dollar General, and a crappy parking lot that had more craters than the moon. You know, like the potholes, and they didn't do nothing until probably 2011, 2012.
What's it now? What's it like now?
They got like different workplaces and that now. It's like very nice looking, like nicer buildings. and-
Workplaces? Like what do you mean?
Like what?
I don't know what's over there now. I haven't been there in a while, but like,
Well-
it looks nice.
Benderson was all over the town of Hamburg, and they left a whole bunch of shells. Like
Yeah.
you always know what a Rite Aid looks like because it's a, you know, that building when it's abandoned, you're like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a red barn. You
Or
know
the-
what the dead barn looks
the
like.
dead barn. They have the golf store over
It's like
on Sheridan. That's a red
It's
barn.
like I just don't get, if you're gonna buy a place, do something with it instead of leaving it sit there. You know, but it's
Maybe it's a tax write-off thing, of depreciation and all. There's multiple reasons they might do something like that.
But land is the one thing they're not making more of.
Although the volcanoes constantly make new land when they erupt and like they flow to the water, like
And
over in Pahoa.
Do you?
It's a little bit of land, but it's still land.
Can you build on that?
Eventually, maybe not now, but
Not,
give it
not-
a couple.
not-
Give it a couple thousand years, maybe.
or more.
Yeah,
That's not reasonable.
but still new land.
It's not reasonable.
The three biggest tenants in the Garden Village Plaza are Save-A-Lot,
Ooh,
yep.
Value Vision Optical, Dairy Queen Grill and Chili.
grill and chili.
Grill and Chili.
There's a typo. Probably grill and chill.
Okay.
Oh, it is Grill and Chill.
Yeah.
That was a real happening
Well,
place there. Let's go
I don't
visit.
know. I don't know if the building inspectors can, if they have ticket power.
Yeah, because I think if I was like the city or something or a mayor saying, you know what, we got to knock this down because there's no way of saving it.
It costs a lot of money to knock things down too, though. They might not have the budget to knock it down.
And also, it sounds rather sinister, but sometimes city planners are happy when something gets burned down because then they don't have to knock it down.
Yeah. Even though like that one guy didn't care if it was in cobblestone, he didn't care if that place burned down because he wanted to redevelop something and make it new. Where the city was like, "What are you doing? We like to keep our history here at Cobblestone."
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say about that, about property owners?
Home Depot has an office there where they help fulfill their online orders. And Flex Industrial has some light manufacturing in that office space.
So yeah, it's definitely nicer over there now.
So that's just what I think. Now, tell me what you think. Anybody else have anything else to say about that? All righty. So, Richard, how about Florence Nightingale, organizer?
Okay. I'm fascinated by Florence Nightingale's life. So she was born into a wealthy family. They gave her a good education. And they expected her to become a refined and dignified member of the wealthy class. She didn't want that. She wanted to help the sick. And so what they did is they said, okay, we'll send you to nursing school. So they sent her to nursing school, hoping that she would kind of wake up and become a teacher of other nurses. She didn't want that. She wanted to actually work amongst the sick. So she told her family, look, don't bother setting me up with anything. I'll take care of everything myself. She just went and volunteered at an Army hospital. The Army hospital didn't believe that women should have any role in a hospital except for cleaning up. And so they said, that's all we can give you, is a job cleaning up. So what she would do is she would do her job, but then every day she would go to the head of the hospital and she'd say, do you realize how many diseases are being caused by the unsanitary conditions in these rooms? You are fighting yourself by keeping patients here because they're leaving sicker than they showed up. And she made herself into such a pest that the owner or the doctor who was in charge of the hospital said, look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a special job. And you're not going to be paid any more money, but it's your job to keep the hospital clean. She said, deal. So that was her job. She went around and she cleaned up all the rooms. Then she went back to him and she said, it's not enough. It's not enough because you built this hospital on top of a sewage facility. You can't have that. And he said, well, what do you want me to do about it? And she said, give me the name of your boss and I'll go tell that person. So she did. And then that person was so impressed by her. He said, okay, we are going to build a new facility according to your specifications, but you got to be in charge of it. Now, I don't mean you're going to be in charge of the doctors, but you're going to be in charge of how well the place is run, making sure it's staffed, etc. People who went to that new facility had the best cure rate ever in the history of medical hospitals. All right? Other hospitals started to notice, and they started saying to her, we've been hearing such good things about this hospital. Could you come over as a consultant just to tell us what we are doing wrong? She goes, sure, I'll just do that in my spare time. So she was going to these other hospitals, and it wasn't long before the President of the United States heard about it.
Who was the president?
I think it was, I should know the answer to that. Well, okay, it was after the Civil War. It was Grant. He said, you did such a fantastic job during the Civil War and after that, I want you to be the main consultant for all the hospitals. She said, I got bad news for you. I picked something up, a airborne disease, and it's affecting my ability to walk. She said, unless I mysteriously get better, I got to stay in bed now for the rest of my life. So she said, but that's not going to stop me from giving you advice. So the president would write to her and he would say, such and such a hospital needs your advice. And then before you know it, hospitals from all around the world were writing to her, asking for her advice on how to help out their hospitals. And she was just writing it out from her bed. So even though she was bedridden in her 30s, she lived to be 92.
Wow.
Isn't that something? And all during that time, she's writing to people. First of all, you got to keep the rooms clean. You got to do this. You got to do that. What were you going to say?
Where? Because I know Florence Nightingale is the Crimean War. That's all I know.
That's where she caught her illness.
But
yeah.
where was this hospital? Was it in the UK or was it down in Crimea? You know, like that's what I'm wondering.
I'll have to look that up for you. If it was the hospital in Crimea or if she was assigned to one in the UK.
And why was the president of the United States so into her if she was like from Europe?
Good question.
That's interesting.
Because somebody wrote a book about her and the book became a bestseller. And from that point on, everybody wanted to meet her, including the president of the United States.
And also, what I know is that she was also she had hypochondriacal personality disorder.
What is that?
She was thought she was sick all the time when she wasn't.
Uh,
Because that's pathological. You know that they're not doing it on purpose. But it's the big one. It's the big one.
So the moral of that story is no matter what circumstances you find yourself in, if you are motivated, you will find a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Sometimes timing has something to do with it too. Right place at the right time.
Because no matter where you go, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's very interesting. Does anybody else have anything else they want to say about that?
no, it was interesting, like you said.
Okay, so finally, let's see, Vanessa, let's see. Head of household voting.
Oh, that's a hot new thing that's coming out of the manosphere and the MAGA universe, where they want to repeal the 19th Amendment and have just voting be the husband, the head of the household, votes for the household instead of individual people like the man and the wife voting, or even maybe if there's some children that are of voting age in that house, it would just be the patriarch who votes.
Does he get 2 votes?
No, he gets 1.
Oh,
It's a fascinating interview that Vanessa sent to me through a social media post that was grabbing things from NPR. So I went right to the NPR interview because I wanted to see what did NPR do with this. And that was very interesting. So it had this pastor on from Idaho. Okay? And he said that it makes a lot of sense to him to have one person per household vote, and that would be the head of the household. And of course, the woman from NPR said, what if a woman is the head of the household? He said, well, then she's the one who votes. And what is her job? Her job is to discuss the issues of the day with everyone in the house and say, now, this is what the facts are. Now, I want you to give some thought as to which candidate we should support. Now, she can take a vote and do majority rules, or she could overrule everyone, right? But she's the one who ultimately goes to the voting place and has the one vote for household. He said that it's a better system than we have now, and his reasoning is there's more engagement. Right? Because your house is really debating it amongst itself and the neighbors are debating it amongst themselves because they value the vote so much. I don't know about that.
I concur.
You're skeptical?
Yes, very much so. Because that's the optimal outcome, is like you say.
Yeah.
The reality is low information voters, and they just, whatever they seem works for them.
That would be an interesting thing if it was mandatory to have some sort of knowledge level or intelligence level to be able to vote.
That was made illegal. That having a literacy test. That you can't do that.
Yeah, but it,
Then Trump
what
wouldn't
they-
be in office.
But what you're just saying, it sounds like something that the government always does. Find ways to cheat the system of voting. Vote for me and do this so we can win. Like, I think like with Diaper Donnie, I'm calling him. I think he wants, like, he knows that most of the males are going to vote for him, so and the women won't vote for him. But I like where the voting is at right now. I mean,
Well, see what you're all getting into. You're all dancing around is the Voting Rights Act because what the white illiterates are who supports the president. That's MAGA. They can't spell MAGA, but that's who supports the president because it's the like that despicable Charlie Kirk. He was not a joiner. He was not a uniter. Robbie, he was not.
No.
He was not.
I know.
Well, no, you said that he brought people together. No, Toilet Paper USA was about making black people into second-class citizens and robbing them of the right to vote. And that's why poll taxes, literacy tests, those were all disenfranchising. And he was about disenfranchising. He espoused the white replacement theory. The boogeyman was brown people that were pushing out the white people because the U.S. was formed as a...
In reference to
Oh.
what?
Well, and that's all that is removing people's right to vote. That's what the Save America Act is. America doesn't need to be saved. All what they want to do is deprive people of being able to vote. And when you disenfranchise people, that's the people you are disenfranchising are people you don't want voting because they will
Right.
vote you
Yeah,
out.
that's the thing. It's like it more sounds like they don't want the poor people to vote, and because it sounds like they want the rich people to vote, which is sad. Because
No, they want the white people to vote.
The white people who often sympathize with the white billionaires just because they're white, and they can be living in a trailer park or real poor, but like still they have that white racial pride component going on, so they feed into that sentiment.
Well, I don't think it's...
How do you get the dumb white Trumpers to like support the oligarchs and super filthy rich people like Elon Musk?
I don't think they do.
Oh, they love him.
You're stepping on my cord.
Oh.
Well, what you do is you say that you relate to the poor people because we're white, even though you don't have
Right.
anything to do with them.
Yep.
And they eat it up,
And they're-
because people on the periphery yell louder. And if you're moderate, you can't, you can't be heard because
what is moderate, and is moderate of any real use? Because what does moderate achieve?
well, that's reasonable because thank heavens that there's only one of you because you're very extreme. And
I'm
you
gonna
know
clone
what?
myself.
When you're talking about this heteronormative patriarchy, well, the patriarchy, you're right, that's wrong, but the heteronormativity, that's like 90% plus of the population. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, just because something's a huge number doesn't necessarily make it correct. What about liberty and justice for all? And in the bell curve, you have the norm, but you always have the outliers. You always will.
Which are very small in number.
But still, they exist, and still they deserve the same rights as the thing in the big
See, but
bulk in the middle.
Right.
Even though they're down there, they should have this. Everyone should have rights.
But the thing of it is, it sounds like with all these politicians, with all the government, it's money talks.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And you have lobbyists, and you have all that big money lobbying and corporations involved in government now. That's a huge problem.
I'm going to tie that in because my topic, Todd Blanche, Attorney General, that I referred to Cornyn and Tillis as invertebrates. Because, I mean, Lisa Murkowski voted against them and Susan Collins voted against them, but Bill Cassidy and Tillis and Cornyn absolutely rolled over, and they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. and they put that piece of shithole Todd Blanchard, who is the president's lapdog, who has never done anything that benefited the common man. He has totally done his best to turn, just like Pam Bondi, to turn the Department of Justice, which is supposed to be independent, into a vassal state of our oligarchical president.
Remember you were talking about behind the scenes? I'd like to know what was offered behind the scenes that made them switch.
Right,
Because
because
originally it was no fund for the people from January 6th and no tax immunity for the president, right?
right.
So they got the thing about the no fund for the, but somehow they just stopped talking about the tax immunity. Now, why?
That's the interesting question because
Like is something they care about being offered a huge sum of money, or
well, Trump endorsed Ken Paxton, who is the dirtiest politician you'll ever find. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
even you know, it was like when David Duke was the Republican nominee for governor of Louisiana, and they said vote for the crook. It's important because Edwin Edwards was another one who he was a Democrat and he was as filthy as he was the guy who said the only thing that could sink me now is they found me in bed with a live boy or a dead girl. That's pretty corrupt. And
so what do you think they offered?
well, I don't know what they could have offered because they're all going out of office, you know, and that like Cornyn was pissed off enough that they're not going to name the road after Trump. You know, what's the thing that's bugging me about Trump is they're going to change the indicator of Palm Beach International of
Right.
PBI to DJT. Do you know how hard that is to do that? Do you not realize what that's going to do?
What's next? You're gonna trade, call the America Donald Trump of America?
If he could.
Trumpland. Trumpistan.
I mean, putting his friggin' signature on the money
oh yeah, he wants to put.
and his ugly face on the passport.
And supposedly they want to have a coin with him on it too.
Their rationale for that is it's supporting the
250th.
semi-desquid to whatever
Yeah.
the 250 is. Because every picture of him, his official picture, looks like his mugshot.
Sort of like what Hitler did, putting his picture, slapping it all over the place. Or in Spain when Franco did that.
Yeah.
On all the stamps
Like-
and everything.
And what irks me is like Janine Pirro. Well, I think that the reason why she didn't prosecute Hearn is because she knew she'd get disbarred. So, while on one hand is our out
that-
of control president,
That's a good example. Something that most people don't know from watching the news. You know, they just said she went along with what the court said. You know, and that it was bad installation.
Oh, Trump didn't like that.
He didn't like that.
because I mean, and Doug Burgum, who I was hoping he was going to run against Trump, instead he got in line to suck his balls. That's as gross as, you know, it's not fellatio, it's sucking on his nuts. That's as gross as I can make it.
How do
You
you
know?
suck on a 80-year-old nuts?
Mouthful
You
of
got
bag.
Well,
it
it
probably
apparently,
couldn't find them either.
apparently it looks like a mushroom, you know, so that's the thing that he says he didn't do anything, and people say, logically, how could Stephanie Clifford, you know, Stormy Daniels, she could just describe his manhood. That's all you got to do is, you know, say there's this or that, you know? Like he's got a birthmark on his crotch, something like that, you know, that you wouldn't know
Right.
unless you'd seen it first person.
Just
Yeah.
like Monica Lewinsky with Bill Clinton.
Or Lindsey Graham's ladybugs. You know about that? Look it up. Look into it.
Well, they all that was the open secret, you know, the confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
So we're just going to forget about that because Burgum, he said, yeah, it was vandalized. How in the hell could somebody with a box cutter get in the middle of it? In the middle. And nobody would even notice somebody running a box cutter. Yeah, no, it's a shitty job. And that's, you know, it defies logic. It is not plausible.
And the paint chip he's holding up doesn't even have like square angles. It's sort of like, it looks like something that flaked up out of a
Well, I was expecting Dumb Donnie's kids to sell it as a, like selling a
Ooh,
piece of the
right.
stadium. They're going to sell pieces of the liner.
Even better, they could sell some of the murky water. Oh boy, you could make a lot of money off the little bottles of the water.
No.
Why not? They'd buy it.
But yeah, that's why
Call it Trump water.
that's-
You can drink it. It's good for
that's
you.
the thing that, it's got bleach. Because it only works if you drink it. And so, yeah, that just irks me because what I'm hoping is all the stars align and the Democrats get a supermajority and then they just impeach all these people, and throw the babies out with the bathwater, such as it was. So, okay, that's mine. So let's see, what's our next topic? Deciding between religion and the common good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me call this up on here, and then I'll ask Mr. Windsor.
You got an image?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mr. Windsor, would you be nice enough to...
Oh, there we go.
I thought this was an excellent cartoon because it says Moses deciding whom to trust. Now, essentially, what Moses is deciding is, do I go with religion or do I go with the common good where there's a lot of fire starting up that's causing a lot of mayhem? Maybe this is not such a good idea.
Where was the fire, though? Wasn't that in a desert, Sinai desert? There's not a lot that can catch on fire there. It's not like a forest.
Right. I hate to say it, but I have to agree with Vanessa. That
my-
galls me. That makes my belly hurt.
Just because it's me? Oh, boy.
Yes. But, she's right. There wasn't a lot to burn there. So I understand the cartoon, but that's kind of pithy and it's kind of glib because,
That's why the cartoon uses that as a symbol, but not a literal one-to-one symbol for, do you side with the religious view of the world or do you side with the secular view?
I'm not getting that at all from this.
I mean, my take is like Mother Teresa. Sure, we'll feed you, but you got to listen to a sermon too.
Well,
We'll fill your belly, but we're also going to give you the bread of life, and you got to listen to it.
Oh, yeah, there's churches all over
but
the place.
obviously
like that.
he did. Obviously Moses did listen to the religious
He did.
fact because they like God was giving him more and more, like like the parting of the sea and everything.
Well, I think you're missing a
What?
lot of it.
No, there was other things that he did.
When the Jews were lost in the wilderness for 40 years, God fed them every day with manna, the manna from heaven. But you know the thing about manna? Whatever it was, you couldn't collect it. You had to do the menial task of picking it up every day. You had to get your little pittance, and you couldn't save it up. You couldn't farm twice as much today to eat tomorrow because you couldn't do that.
Why do you call it a manual task of picking it up every day?
That was the whole point of the manna. It wouldn't keep. So
Yeah,
whatever.
right. So you pick it and you eat it.
Yeah, and you had to do that every day.
You have to do that if it's an apple. You have to do that if that's anything. You have to
But-
pick it up and eat it.
But if you collected apples, I mean, they keep them all winter.
So if you were there, you would have complained that you couldn't save it?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm telling you that God was providing for them, but He's only providing a pittance, only enough for today. Every day.
Does that bother you?
Well, it doesn't bother me. I'm just saying. He was feeding them, but it wasn't abundance.
It was bare sustenance.
Yeah, it was enough
bare
to get
level.
by. Enough to get by. That's all. And you couldn't save it, like winter wheat or apples or pears. Those will keep, especially the apples. And you could collect more than you need right now, so you could eat them next week. You couldn't do that with the manna. They think manna from heaven is miraculous. No, it's not. It's a pittance, and it's enough to get by. It's so you don't starve to death. Not that your belly is so full you get fat.
I'm trying to still figure out how Jesus, with one piece of bread, fed 1,000 people. I don't know how they.
You know what? It's
If he's
called a miracle.
God.
I mean, I think if
Yeah,
you're trying to
miracle.
figure it out, you're never going to figure it out.
Yeah, that's hard.
Well, there's a story behind that. The rule was when it came time to eat, you passed around a basket, and you had a choice: either put some of your extra food in there, or if you don't have any extra food, take some of the food out. So when you look at it that way, it's very possible.
Do you know what stone soup is?
Never tried it.
So you don't.
You will with your SNAP benefits getting cut.
Well, I'm not on SNAP benefits.
Of course
No.
you're not. They were cut.
You're both wrong. Stone soup is when the homeless guy or the itinerant guy said, well, I can put this stone in here, but we just need some other stuff. Then everybody brings their little bit of vegetable and their little bit of meat and all this. The stone doesn't do anything, but he contributed.
It adds volume.
Sounds like that.
No.
Makes it look like there's more because it takes up space and it looks like there's
It
more.
sounds
soup.
like those potluck dinners or something like they do it regularly at church. Potluck, you bring something.
Well, yeah, because one person doesn't do it, and it's the totality of the society. So stone soup, the stone doesn't take up any volume, and it doesn't add any flavor, it doesn't do anything. But the itinerant guy gets a meal.
It does displace water within the vessel, though.
You're really missing the point.
I'm literal, I guess.
You're perseverating on a non-issue.
I got mental
It's,
wiring.
it's not rock. It's not rock or boulder soup. It's stone soup. The stone doesn't displace all that
What's the
volume.
difference between a stone and a boulder and a rock? Is there a difference?
You're really trying
No,
really
I-
hard. No, you're really trying really hard to miss the point.
No, I'm
The stone
not.
doesn't do anything. It doesn't displace that volume. It doesn't do anything. You don't. You're trying.
It
not-
has to because, like, if you put it in a
yeah,
pot,
proof's right here. The stone.
There's
you
there-
put stones in it that makes the water rise a little bit. You know, that's a scientific.
and
That's
fact.
from
Well,
Archimedes,
yeah.
right?
yeah, that's true. But you're really missing the point. You won't stop
Well, what's the
perseverating on this.
point? I don't get
The
it.
point is, it doesn't do anything, and it doesn't change that volume really that much. It doesn't fill it up. It's not like it's a boulder that's taking all sorts
boulder's
of
a
area.
big stone. You're talking about a little.
I'm
stone.
talking about, yeah, just like a rock you pick up outside
Right
and
there,
you put
stone.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If I put this in a,
Size
in a
matters.
5-gallon, it ain't going to do nothing.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
From the
Now do you
show.
get it?
Yeah, I get it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. I get
From that show, that thee who hold the stone, right? I think that's what it's called.
Well,
Whoever holds the boulder.
that's why we don't interrupt people, Vanessa.
I don't want to hold a boulder. That's too heavy.
It's a good workout.
Did we turn out the lights? Because I'm seeing a lot of dimwits. That's all. Okay. We're going to try again, Richard, the birdcage cartoon.
Okay, well,
Oh, does anybody have
I
anything?
get ask if anyone has anything.
Does anybody
on
have
that.
anything else to say about that?
About the stone soup.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, you got something?
Oh no.
Do you?
Okay, no, I don't.
Okay.
So this cartoon, I find this fascinating. I would call it under the topic of the type of art that some artists create. Okay? So in other words, there's the type of art where you are opposing something that is in the world. So you might create some like it wasn't. Yeah, it was you. You sent me the Donald Trump portrait made from Commodore.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you do that?
No, but it sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. In other words, someone instead of dipping in their brush and paint, they dipped in Commodore, right?
Well,
And then they made a portrait of Trump. They put it up in a gallery, and you look at it, you think, oh, they used brown paint. But then when you read the little card, it said, made from Commodore, and that changes the meaning because the content is now affecting the meaning.
well, does it have the smell? That's the thing. That's what differentiates.
I bet
Commodore.
you there's people who sniff the painting. I bet you there is.
Well, that would make them do that. now knowing what it was, and versus a pigment, because it is a pigment.
Yeah. So anyway, in this cartoon, you have the other kind of artists. The artists who portray the injustices in the world and make you feel more comfortable around them. All right? See? So the bird is in a cage. The bird escapes the cage. And while he's free, he decides to create some art. So he creates a drawing of the cage, and it gives him a sense of happiness. Now, is he happy because, oh, I don't have to live in the cage anymore? Or is he happy because it wasn't so bad being in the cage? What do you say?
That's what I take out of it. You don't when you think you're really free, you don't realize how the world sucks. And you really weren't that bad. You know, that to this nominal absolutist, I'm free. But wait, now I got to find something to eat, and I got to find somewhere to sleep, and I got to make sure I don't get hit by, oh. This is, I was going to say, make sure I don't get hit by lightning. I was grilling yesterday, and we had a thunderstorm. And have you ever been nearby to lightning striking? It's really loud. I mean, it sounded like a bomb blew up. It's so much so that the woman across the street got out of her house. She thought I got struck by lightning. But my roommate saw the flash on the other side of the house. You know, she was facing the back of our house.
I mean, you didn't see the bolt.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Because, I'm facing this way, and the bolt was over here. But, I mean, it was really loud. I mean, like enough to scare me. Because did you ever see that video on YouTube of the soldier at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and the lightning striking?
Did it? What? It hit the. It hit the.
It didn't
tomb?
hit. It didn't hit him, but it struck like right there, and the guy didn't even move. I'm telling you.
Wow.
You know, because if your hair stands on end in a field, what does that mean? In
A
about
lot,
ha-
of, a lot of
electricity?
ions in the air, right?
well, yeah, in half a second you're going to be struck by lightning.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It ain't fun. I mean, you think it's funny until it happens to you.
Well, I heard a tree get hit by lightning, like right in front of my apartment. Like we used to have a tree in front of it, and it just freaking all of a sudden you heard it. It was
Yeah,
like
it just
a
blew
big
up.
bang.
Yeah.
And it almost hit somebody's truck too.
I mean, did the tree get blowed up?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's the whole thesis of the beginning of The Natural. The tree gets stuck by lightning, and there's a piece of glowing wood, and that's what he makes into Wonder Boy, the bat. And that's why he puts a thunderbolt on it.
So what's your interpretation of the cartoon? Because you know a lot about art. Why is the bird recreating the cage and has that look of satisfaction afterward?
I don't know, since I'm not a bird. And I think like freedom is a nice myth people like to believe in, but does it really exist?
Ooh,
Well-
that's very thought-provoking.
A guy said that in the Annapolis catalog 35 years ago. Freedom is in the mind anyways. I love it here. That's what he said about Annapolis. He didn't even know. Because he had it easy. If he would have gone where we were, we really had it bad. But I thought of that. The mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven.
Right.
And that's what well,
I'm not really sure what the point in this cartoon is.
well,
Rob, what do you think? Can you
Yeah.
figure anything out?
I don't know. I mean, I think he just feels like he likes the cage, but he feels free without being in the cage.
Maybe he got used to the
Like
cage.
something like that.
The
Yeah.
familiarity makes you sort of start
Yeah,
to like things.
Or maybe, now that you said that, maybe how people talk about the good old days.
yeah.
But what it is their imagination is making them purposely forget all the bad things.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We remember the good and we forget the bad. Like, what did Billy Joel say? The good old days weren't always good. And tomorrow it ain't as bad as it seems.
And only the good die young, too.
You know, that's the song I'm talking about.
Nostalgia. Nostalgia's a trap.
No, it isn't.
It is. It makes people like long for something that never was and try to recreate something that never was and cannot be.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Not in a totality, it can't. Maybe you can have essences, little glimpses here and there, but it's sort of like a false facade of
Yeah, well,
the previous thing.
I agree with you, Vanessa, because there's a connection between memory and imagination. And nostalgia is when the imagination takes over your memory.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're remembering what it was like, but it's really your imagination taking
Oh,
place.
yeah.
Is that bad?
Well, is it bad to live in a fantasy world? Some people would say, well, if it keeps you from committing suicide, it's okay. And other people would say, well,
I mean, for a moment, is it really bad?
But it's like, isn't bad a value judgment based on a person's particular view of what's good and bad, and that can shift from person to person? Is it, what is absolute bad?
Yeah, that's not the same as nostalgia. I'm just saying,
It
if you
sort of
look back
ties
on your
into it.
happier days, your halcyon days, is that really bad?
What if you never had
well,
any?
yeah, that's right. Vanessa's saying, what if it's all in your imagination?
Hey, that's okay.
And if you could go back, you'd see all these things you conveniently forgot.
Yeah, you'd see
Yeah.
the reality of it.
The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. I mean, you make your happiness.
Outside factors can have an influence on that, though. Happiness can't just be created purely out of itself.
Are you sure? I mean, I think you're just being obstinate and oppositional.
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying. Well, Can you explain how you can create happiness out of nothing and just be
No,
happy?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you had a good time last year at Darien Lake and you think back to it, is that what's your opposition to that?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about glorifying a past that never was, like a golden age, sort of like what MAGA does. Make America great again. When was it great?
That's what I'm. Well, that's true. Make America Great Again. It really wasn't bad. I mean, we don't have to make it great. 'Cause it's-
Remember at the
wasn't bad, they-
bonfire when Joni, she did a song and she dedicated to somebody who would come to the Home of the Future? And she did this nostalgic type of thing of how great the Home of the Future was back in that decade. And I thought, you're forgetting all the bad parts.
yeah. Well, you know,
Memory is selective.
Well, it's like
isn't it?
malls too. It's nostalgic about how great malls were and
Yeah.
hanging out with them, but then you realize, oh wait, the prices are pretty bad, skyrocketing.
Well, now they are. Yeah.
Well, there's not many malls
Well,
left.
I mean,
And same thing goes for Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well-
yeah. The Blockbuster nostalgia. Yeah.
well, I mean, say your dad beat you like a gong, but
Oh, you know me.
you don't think about that though. You know what I mean? What you might think of are the times that were good. You know what I mean? You think about the fun times you had with your dad, and you kind of really encapsulate
Maybe,
getting beaten like a
but
gong.
if you have a bias more towards being more of an optimist or focusing more on the bright, sunny parts of things, yeah. But some people are cynics and they like to focus more on the negative or the dark side of things. And some people are in the middle, and not everyone's the same.
Well, I don't know. You're kind of like bringing things to a halt because really we make our own happiness. I mean, I really don't get it. You're angling for a fight that
No.
isn't there. Yeah.
I'm not angling for a fight.
No, I'm not saying you
just
want to
having-
fight with me. I mean, you just want to be oppositional.
No, I think Vanessa truly thinks that.
Well, that's true, but I don't share her vision.
Ah, that's a different way of putting it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I get where she's coming from. I mean, when I was 3 years old, I don't even want to talk about like my first 3 years of life or 4 years because it was like I was beaten and everything. I was,
You had a tough time?
abused, yeah. And then finally at 5, I got adopted, and I just like to forget about what happened in my first 4 years of life. It's
Right.
terrible, and I don't like talking about it.
Well, you probably don't remember much anyways. You know what I mean? You might remember 4, but you certainly don't remember 3 or 2.
A common thing that our friend Greg Sturlis has said over the many decades I've known him, if you bring up something from his past, like his friend Joe Orlovsky, they played in a band together. They were real close. Joe got hit by a car and died. All right, in a strange occurrence. He stopped to help another motorist.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it on the 198?
That's right. And then as he helped him with his flat or whatever. Then when Joe was walking back to his car, he got hit by another car
Yeah.
and he died. And so I said to Greg, do you ever think about Joe's death? And he said, I purposely don't think about it. See, he takes the view, push it away. See?
Well, I can concur. That's what I say. Well, we're getting to the end, y'all. The bus pulling into the station. If you have any comments, if you can text me or you can follow us on our socials, and I'll give you a joke. The rotation of Earth really makes my day.
Everyone else is
All righty.
too.
Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye.